What's going on, guys? It is Shay here. Welcome back to another video, and today, everybody, welcome back to another tier list. And today I'm going to be doing my very own tier list for JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Stone Ocean, or JJBA Part 6. Now, I did say that, like, for a while I really just didn't feel like watching Part 6. You know, actually, hang on, let me move my camera back right quick so you guys can get a better view of me, you know? But at one point I stopped watching Part 6. I only got into like 2 episodes of the show. And maybe, Thursday maybe? And due to the fact that I literally just got done watching the show no less than about 3 or 4 hours ago, this stuff is still very fresh, very much fresh in my mind, actually. So that's why I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and do this. So with that being said, let's begin. Okay, so the first character that we have here is Narciso Anasui, who is one of the, not necessarily a primary ally, he's more of a secondary ally. And he is the master of the stand Diver Down. Now, Diver Down, he can, phase through people's bodies and crap like that, which I think all stands can do that, but mostly, I guess, him, he could phase through bodies and take damage for other people. We've seen this when, during the endgame events of Part 6. We've seen him do this with Jotaro. We've seen him do this to some people, and stuff like that. And he can also, Diver Down can also phase through walls. That's how he can climb and stuff like that. But Anasui as a person. So first off, this dude is thirsty as freak for Jolene. And I guess, I don't know, but he is willing to literally do anything, absolutely anything, to save and basically to protect Jolene. Which is kind of cool, I guess. I mean, personally, I guess he's that type of person where it's like, oh yeah, already know, if I like this woman, I'm going to freaking, if I'm going to prove myself, I got to protect her, basically. I don't know if that's a really cool way to think. I really like his design, and apparently Anasui was originally supposed to be a female. In the manga, apparently there was a shot, or there was a frame of him, or a panel of him, where it was apparently him as a female, and he looked shorter. So yeah, Anasui, I don't even know, dude. I really like his stand. He uses it quite frequently as well, ever since he was introduced, ever since he started helping out the people or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna put him, I don't know, dude. We're gonna put, it's really difficult of where I want to put Anasui at, because he's a really good character. He literally sacrificed, his life to, so that way Jotaro could try to take out Pucci, but that's not how that happened. So I'm gonna put him at an 8 tier, dude. So the next character that we have here is Anakis, or Anakis. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but this is the alternative universe version, or the alternate universe version of Anasui. And in this universe, he is actually with Jolene, well, with her alternate universe self, Irene. So I find that to be kind of cool. And he looks like I don't know why, but he has a look of a businessman for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean, he was literally just like, oh yeah, you wanna, I could give you a ride. It's just you have to pay for all my shit, basically, for gas, food, all that crap. And he's basically saying, I'll take you wherever you want. I don't know, B tier. So the next character that we have here, I was looking at the other characters on here, but the next character that we have here is DNG, who is the master of the stand, Yo-Yoma. So basically what his stand does, I think what does it do? I think it melts anything that, it's something, I think it's like a mosquito or something bites you, and it melts anything it touches. Something like that. I really like DNG's design. I really like his design, and I was really warming up to the character until this dude got freaking taken out by Guccio. It's kind of funny, but I really like his design, so I don't know, dude. And, yeah, C tier. The next character that we have here is Dio, but in Part 6. And mind you, these were all in flashbacks of Part 6. So we see him throughout the years of 1987 and throughout the years of 1988, the years that Part 3 takes place in. So throughout these years, we see how he met Pucci. Now, he came off to Pucci as oh yeah, hey, look, I hear what your toes, and then, Pucci was like, man, look, I don't know what you just did, but I really want to freaking, work with you. I really wish the show would have included how Dio died, which was in 1989. I would have really loved to have seen how Pucci would have reacted during that year. Part 6 Dio. I like his design in Part 6. I like him way more way better in part 6 than I do in part 3. Don't get me wrong, his design in part 3 is really good, but I really like his part 6 design, so we're gonna put him at that A tier. So the next character that we have here is Donatello Versus, who is the first of the sons of Dio that we have on this list. So this is one of the few, I guess you could say, illegitimate kids of Dio, and this guy has to stand Underworld, where I think he's basically able to pull anybody in a hole, and he is able to replay certain events, kind of like Moody Blues, except that I think he can do the whole thing. So it's kind of, so Underworld, so I just now realized this. Underworld is basically just a more buffed version of Moody Blues. And I actually, you know what, when I think about that, I'm going on a little tangent, so skip this if you don't want to hear it. But now that I think about it, if, I don't know, if Abakio was still alive and he got pierced by a Requiem arrow and it like Moody Blues Requiem or some crap like that, I could really see Moody Blues just being able to transform into literally whatever it was and have all the events play out instead of just having a person like that. Because don't get me wrong, Moody Blues is a really cool stand. That's one of my favorite stands. But I mean, just imagine what that would look like. Okay, freaking tangent's over. So first off, I don't really know what the objective of, you know, what that Versus was trying to, you know, get to. All I know is that he was just trying to kill Jolene and Hermes, and, you know, pretty much that. So, and then he ended up betraying Enrico Pucci and walked out on him, basically. Like, he basically, like, I think he took Weather Report's memory disk and threw it at Weather Report, and then that's how he was able to get out of there. So, and I think he died. No, he didn't die by the car crash. How did he die again? Is he? I don't. Like, to be honest with you, I don't even know. Like, I think he's still alive, but from what I remember, he died. So I don't know, dude. I really like his stand, like Underworld, where he's literally able to replay any past events. Case in point, the 2005 plane crash that happened. So beats here. So the next character that we have here is Emporio Al I can't even pronounce his name right. So it's Emporio Al Nino. Now this is, I guess, a primary ally who is the one who finished off Pucci. Like, this is the guy who basically finished everything, basically. Like, he was the one who ended up having to finish everything. So, at first, Emporio, he masters the stand, burning down the house, which was this little room, kind of similar to the turtle from part 5, kind of similar to that, except you have to go through a crack in the wall or some crap like that to just get into the place or whatever. And I think he eventually actually isn't burning down the house of stand. I hope I'm not, you know, incorrect. But yeah, so him as a person, he's really freaking cool. You know, he tries to help out as, like, you know, as many people as he can, you know, stuff like that. He even attempted to try to you know, he attempted at first to try to help Jolene to see, you know, like, oh yeah, don't go in there, you gonna get, you know, messed up or whatever. And well, you know, she didn't listen to him. So as far as what I remember, but yeah, and then, and as I said, he was literally the guy to basically, in a way, to break the Joestar curse. He ended everything, basically. He was the guy to finish a literal 11-year-old or 10-year-old. He's 11. A literal 11-year-old finished off everything. He killed one of the most broken stand users ever. Well, but anyways, I like Emporio. I really like this dude. He can hold anything. There's a certain thing he can have to the point where he can shrink stuff, and then if he wants to use it, okay, come out, basically. So we're putting him at B tier. So the next character that we have here is Enrico Pucci, who is the titular antagonist or the titular villain of part 6. So this guy is basically let's go ahead and face it, a simp for Dio, basically. This dude literally, like, he achieved heaven, basically. He literally obtained heaven, which was the thing that he and Dio really wanted to do. So as I said, you know, the whole Dio situation, he met Dio back in 1987, and then he kind of hung out with him again in 1988 during the events of part 3. So, yeah, man, I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Pucci goes through some really immoral ways to kill people. I mean, we've seen, like, well, I'm also gonna talk about saying something. I don't know why I'm cutting in and out, but like, we've seen this dude try, like, literally take a dead guard's gun out of his freaking holster and then try to kill Jolene by shooting at her. Luckily enough, he fired 4 shots, so it didn't do anything. So, We've literally seen him. We've seen his stand Whitesnake attempt to shoot down a bird that was presented by Speedwagon Foundation. We've seen I've like many other ways that he has went to try, like many other ways to try to kill people. He has went through plenty of ways, plenty of immoral ways to kill people. So he can stand. He masters 3 stands. Well, not necessarily masters. He technically only masters 1. But he also has 2 other stands that eventually evolved, I guess. So first off, it's Whitesnake, whose ability is basically able to take people's memories and I guess give anybody stands. It's basically a more safer way of giving people a stand ability, or just giving somebody a stand. It's a more safer way than going in naked, stuff like that. However, though, he obtained Whitesnake through the stand arrow. So yeah, that's how he got Whitesnake, which is actually my personal favorite stand of Poochie. And then he commands Sea Moon, who is his secondary stand. We don't see Sea Moon all that well. Like we don't see him that much. We don't really see Sea Moon like that. We don't really see him. We don't really see that stand like that because, and what it does is basically whatever it punches, it automatically reverses the gravity on it. And case in point, if you let's say for instance, if you punch somebody, or if it punches somebody, of course, the thing rebels out. I mean, for anybody who watched Part 6 or read Part 6, already knows what Sea Moon does. It basically reverses gravity with anything it punches, basically. And I mean anything. So, then the last stand that he has is Made in Heaven, which is, in my opinion, one of the most broken stands ever. Not necessarily one of the most broken stands, but it's probably one of the most, up there, you know what I'm saying? Made in Heaven, time acceleration, don't even need to explain. It's kind of self-explanatory. So, why do I still have my shoes on? My whole plan was to make this video without my shoes on. Other than, I don't know why I said that, but other than that, I really like Poochie, but he's not my all-time favorite villain. I'm never going to mention my all-time favorite villains, but we're not going to do that. So, he's not one of my all-time favorite villains, but as I said, he has literally went through hell and back to try to kill, or to try to, kill the last few Joestars that were out there, which in case of point was Jotaro and Jolene. So, this dude has went through some crazy crap, and he ended up getting the crap beat out of him by his own younger brother's stand, who, Emporio took the stand. I forgot to mention about Weather Report as well. He took his stand. So, we're going to put, we're going to put Poochie at the A tier. So, the next character that we have here is Hermes Costello, who is by far my favorite character of Part 6. And she is also a primary ally of the whole show. We meet her, I think, in the very first episode, actually, or if not the second, I think. But she masters the stand Kiss, or the localized name Smack. What the fuck? I don't know, but she commands or masters the stand Kiss. And what Kiss is able to do, put a sticker on something, it duplicates it. When you take the sticker off, it goes right back into the freaking thing. And and if it's a body part, it's gonna come right back, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna freaking hurt. So we see her use these stickers quite frequently, and she's a pretty freaking crazy woman. She lost her basically her mother figure, I guess, which was, I think, her sister Gloria. I think it was her sister, and case in point, Gloria ended up getting killed by Sports Mags, whom the former eventually went to go try to find to get revenge on. Which she successfully did. So, cause Hermes, she's going at the S tier, dude. I know I've actually heard this from some other places, but I do know that a lot of people say that Hermes is basically just a female version of Polnareff, in which it basically is. They both lost family members. In Polnareff's case, his freaking, his sister, got taken advantage of. She got freaking murdered and all this crap. And, in Hermes' case, her sister, got beaten and got free. I think she got stabbed as well. I don't really remember. But, and then they both held no remorse whatsoever for, who murdered people. I mean, who would? So, anyways, next character we have here is Foo Fighters, or FF. Or basically, she technically takes the body of a girl named Atroe. I hope I'm saying that name right. It might be Atro, but we'll just say Atro, I guess. So she, I guess you could say, they take the body of this prisoner who actually died from the wrist thing getting exploded. Now, I also have to say this about that one scene, when Atro got blown up by that thing. I was always thinking, Battle Royale, the movie, the 2000, and 2003 movies. Like, is this battle royale? Like, cause in the thing, like if you got too far away from your partners, the some is either a like a neck brace or a thing. I think it was a neck brace. It blows up if your partner dies or if they get too far away from you. So I'm really thinking like, man, this is literally battle royale. I'm pretty sure that was probably a reference to it. So, I mean, Foo Fighters. They are able to, like, you know, get into anybody's body. They need a bunch of mortar is their #1 priority, and if they don't get it, they basically don't live. Like, they disintegrate, which we literally saw in the episode where Jolene and Hermes and all those other freaking prisoners, you know, where Jolene and Hermes were about to kill, you know, Foo Fighters, put it out of his misery, but you know, Jolene, due to the fact that her jacket was her jacket was soaked. So, you know, she did the thing with the water crap like that. She fought to the very end, you know what I'm saying? She fought as much as she could. And she's, I don't know, dude. Like, I remember her death was pretty freaking bad. Pretty freaking bad. Because technically, she had died. Didn't she die when she got exploded or some crap like that? I don't know, but I like Foo Fighters, but she's not my favorite. But I really do like, you know, her character and whatnot. So let's put her at A tier. So the next character that we have here is Gloria Costello, who is I think she's the older sister of Hermes. So, I'm not gonna lie, dude, like, man, why they do, like, in a way, it was all her fault that she got killed. Gloria, it was all her freaking fault that she got killed. Why? It's because, first off, she stuck her nose into some business that she was not supposed to be doing, like, she wasn't supposed to be in. Case in point, I think it was, gang violence, where, Sports Max, you know, the whole situation with him, him and his gang were beating and, you know, punching some dude and killing him or whatever, and, you know, and then, Sports Max finds her, oh yeah, you gotta die today, so, yeah, and then, you know, she died, stuff like that. So in a way, it was all her fault that she died. Like, this was 100% her fault, but I don't know, dude. We're gonna put her at a C tier. So the next character that we have here is the Green Baby, who eventually evolved into becoming Sea Moon. So this, I mean, all it did was just sleep, and it's like the closer you got to the baby, the more you would shrink, and, you know, stuff like that. And as I said, you know, due to the fact it's a baby, that damn thing is unpredictable. But this thing eventually ended up becoming Sea Moon, or evolved to become that. So, I don't know, C tier maybe? So the next character that we have here is Guccio, who I like to call a living skeleton, basically. Or a skeleton with skin. Because that's literally what he is. I don't really see the purpose of this dude. He masters the stand Survivor, which is like, you know, it's basically kind of like a more difficult or more complex version of Red Hot Chili Pepper, except that with Red Hot Chili Pepper, it needs like an electrical outlet or any type of electricity or any type of way that electricity can get through in order for him to function. But this, he could just get a bunch of water, place down the things, electrocute people, and make them go insane, basically, and punching and killing each other. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't like his design. I really don't like this. I don't see the point of this guy. I mean, I do know, I think Dio, actually Dio did not give this dude a stand. He had to stand. Apparently his first attack with it was in 1982, which was about, what, 5 years of 40 events of, about 5 years of 40 events of part 3. So I'm just thinking like, man, like, what was the point of this dude? Like, all we literally saw was this dude whimpering and cowering in fear in a corner. And we just like, oh yeah, I don't even know what y'all talking about. And this dude just went on his way and killed DNG. I'm just like, and apparently at one point he ended up dying and whatnot. So you know what? We put him in that D tier. So the next character we have here is Gwez, who is a questionable character. So at first she was an enemy to Jolene, and then she was friendly as hell to her. I'm just thinking like, make up your mind. Like, are you an enemy or are you a freaking, you know, or are you a friend, basically? So at first, I think she masters, what stand does she master? I don't remember what stand she masters, but I do know that it can basically make you shrink. So it's kind of like really similar to how Little Feet works, the stand up for Magio from part 5. So I don't know, dude, she's a really questionable character. We don't really see her much. We see her talking to Jolene quite frequently, mostly due to the fact that she's her bunkmate. So yeah, we're going to put her at C tier. So the next character that we have here is Irene, who is the alternate universe version of Jolene. So, apparently her and Anasui in the alternative universe are, you know, they're together, you know. So, I mean, she's more of a like she had that, I guess, that mother type of instinct in her toward, I was about to say Jolene, to Emporio. I don't know. We're gonna have to put her at a C tier. So the next character that we have here is John Galley A, who is the first villain or the first antagonist that we actually see in part 6. Like the first guy who was literally out to kill Jotaro and Jolene. Now apparently John Galley A is ex-military, so basically he's a military vet. And you know, once he got out, this dude, I guess he specifies in assassinations. And this dude, apparently, he's really good at sniping. Apparently, he's Hoji Tomatsu from Deca Ranger, because this dude is really able to shoot a bullet from what looks to be a man-made, like a homemade like sniper rifle, or like, you know, just bolt action rifle. He freaking aims it, and he can literally hit a shot from the men's prison to the female prison. So it's kind of funny. I love how this dude went out though. Like, this dude got killed by Whitesnake. He got killed by his own pistol. His own silenced pistol. Because he was like, oh yeah, hey Whitesnake, where's my gun at? Can you give me my gun? He was like, sure. He was like, well, where's that? Right here. Pow! Just freaking shoots him in the head. I'm just thinking like, wow, what a way to go out, dude. So, John Galley A. I don't even know. He's also blind as well, so I guess, and he also masters a stand Manhattan Transfer. So, yeah. It's kind of cool because Manhattan Transfer can basically, I think it could just help him. I think it can help him guide the way, or like, you know, guide the way that, you know, the bullets are supposed to be going. Because I think if it detects movement from somebody else, I think besides not him, or that's not him, you know, that's when he's able to shoot. So John Galley A, we're putting him at a C tier. So the next character we have here is Jolene Cujo, who is the titular character and the titular protagonist of Part 6. So she's the first, and if not the only, female JoJo that is out there. Now, you know, freaking weird character at the very beginning, a person who literally whined over the smallest and bitched about the smallest inconvenience ever, who eventually went on to become a very great fighter. She's pretty okay. I mean, she's all right. She's not my favorite JoJo. But I mean, she's a really good character. Not a really good character. You know what I freaking mean. Really pretty okay character. For this, she masters the stand Stone Free, and we already know what Stone Free does. Freaking finger, pull out the string, and you know, at one point she was able to give, you know, Stone Free eventually got its, you know, its actual form, where it was able to, you know, be a, you know, physical manifestation of Jolene's soul. So, you know, it does a thing, and she literally, you know, and it punches, I think, you know, close to how fast Crazy Diamond can punch. It seems like that. But other than that, you know, pretty okay stand. She can basically unravel her body as much as she needs to, but if she does it too much, she can die, and, you know, she'll be considered weak. And if she unravels herself too much, her punches ain't gonna do anything. So Jolene is a pretty good JoJo, and I don't know. She's kind of like, she reminds me of a tomboy a lot. Oh, forget my desk. But she reminds me of a tomboy a lot. She reminds me of Valkyrie from Apex Legends. Like, they're rebellious, basically, really rebellious. And she's also and which makes sense because she also got put in prison for some shit that she didn't even do. She got framed, and she was damn near sentenced for 20 years almost. She got sentenced for 15 years in prison for killing somebody. You know, by you know, hitting them with the cart. However, she did steal a cart 14. So yeah, that. So Jolene is going at an A tier, dude. So the next character that we have here is Jotaro Kujo in Part 6. Now, this is the very last time we ever see Jotaro, and we don't really see him that much in the show anymore after his memories and his stand disc got taken away from him. We don't see him, you know, we don't see that much happen with him anymore. He was in the hospital for a while until, you know, they were able to get, you know, his memories back. When he got his memories back, he came back and fought. And the first time we knew he was going to come back is the message on, there's a phone right here. It's a phone prop from one of my characters. He used the phone, like, I think the phone that was up on, that Emporio had. He was like, hey, look, Jolene's fine, but she's not well, you know, stuff like that. So, excuse me. So, yeah, this time he's like much older than how he was in part 4. I mean, I was about to say part 3. Then part 4, and, you know, of course in part 5, we only saw him like once. Actually, no, we saw his current version of him once. And in this part, he is 41. if I'm correct. Yeah, he's 41 because 1970 this is 2011, so he's 41 basically. So yeah, he's 41 during this time. So he literally just reached his 40s, and he sadly died by way of Made in Heaven with the fasting, crap like that. So yeah, it's funny because I'm not even gonna lie with you. Even though I've been spoiled plenty of times in part 6, I have to say this: I've been spoiled a lot for part 6. I've spoiled myself, myself. I didn't no one did this to me. I did this myself. I've spoiled myself with part 6 a lot, and I've seen Jotaro's death scene in part 6 plenty of times before I actually saw it in the actual episode, and I've saw that well before I even got into probably part 4. So I've been knowing how he dies, but it's just really sad, dude. It's just really sad, seeing the way this dude went out. And it's also kind of sad how this dude died, because it's basically just like he went through basically nothing. Like, he did everything for pretty much nothing. Because this dude, let's say that he didn't, he decided to actually go for Poochie instead of going for Jolene. I don't know, maybe Jolene probably would have most likely still lived, but most likely nobody would have probably lived still. Like, even Poochie probably would have died alongside everybody else in that river, maybe except for Emporio. But yeah, dude, it's really sad because that scream that he made, that freaking scream where he saw the knives just spinning in the air, that was that this dude, he's gone off the deep end. This dude is going crazy. And because, we never see Jotaro go crazy. This dude is always calm and calculated and calm and collected and crap like that. But, it's just so freaking sad, dude. Because, that's the first time, if not the only time, we see Jotaro just lose it. Just like, oh my God, this again? Because I'm pretty sure his PTSD kicked in, from the knives crowd. It most likely not. I'm pretty sure that it did kick in. Because if it didn't kick in, he wouldn't scream like that, And yeah, dude, but he ended up doing what he thought was right, and that was saving his daughter. He pushed her to the side, and even though those punches didn't do anything, it ended for him, And apparently Jotaro is actually alive in the after with Irene and all these people there. Apparently he's still alive because she says that she's going to see her dad after she gets approval. After her and the alternate universe version of Anasui, they're saying they're gonna get married or whatever. I'm pretty sure he's probably most likely still alive, even though Poochie literally said that whoever died, if there was anybody who had died before the universe resetted, then they don't make it on. They just stay where they were. So Jotaro, I do know a lot of people say that he got heavily nerfed, or just got nerfed a lot in part 6. But I still really, like this dude. He's my favorite JoJo, man. But no, still, I'm not saying that just because he's my favorite JoJo. I'm just saying, it's okay to me. So he's going to the A tier. So the next character we have here is Kenzo, who is, I don't know. This is another questionable fucking character. This dude uses he's the master of something, and he masters the stand Dragon's Dream. What's funny enough is that apparently his stand is not completely on his side. Apparently his stand is neutral, which means he doesn't pick sides. So basically, Dragon's Dream can basically help anybody he wants to. He could help Kenzo, he could help Jolene or Foo Fighters or whoever he wishes. He the people that was there in that fight. He is 78 during part 6. And he's just an overall weird looking character. So you already know where he's going. However, though, I will admit, though, that Kenzo actually gave these people a freaking fight. Because, with Foo Fighters, after he put her in the electric chair, or put them in the electric chair, they grabbed his arm and, he got electrocuted as well. Even after he got electrocuted by something that is literally used to execute violent criminals, he's still alive. So I'm just saying, what? This dude put up a really good fight. That's one thing I will give him, though. So the next character that we have here, this guy, his name is Lang Wrangler. That's his name. I was about to forget it. His name is Lang Wrangler, and I forgot what he has the ability to basically just kind of like, Sea Moon, except that he's able to, make gravity, do the thing or whatever. And, yeah, that stuff. So I don't really know much about this guy. It's funny because I literally watched the episode a couple days ago, but I don't remember shit about what he can do. Only thing I know is that he could just switch up gravity. That's all I remember. So we'll put him in that C tier. So the next character we have here is Loka Baroka, who is the guy who, I guess is the dude who, with that alligator thing, the dude who's like, he tells people the rules and crap like that from what I remember. He's a really weird looking guy, but from what I remember, from what I read on the wiki, apparently he's a really nice guy and he's pretty selfless. So, I don't know, man. Let's put him at C tier. So the next character that we have here is Mirashan, if I'm getting her name right. This is the person. What the hell does she do? I do know. Oh wait, I think I know what she did. What's her name? She masters of saying Marilyn Manson, I think is what the name. I might be getting all this confused up, but man, I don't remember what her stand can do. I don't remember what she can do. What can she do? I forgot. I don't remember, but I can't even remember, dude. I can't remember. I only looked at who her name was because I forgot her name. So yeah, we're gonna put her at a C tier. So the next character that we have here is Mew Mew. I don't remember her full name, but she masters the stand Jailhouse Lock, or I think I might have said Jailhouse Rock, like the first time I watched the episode, but I think it's just Jailhouse Lock. Basically what Jailhouse Lock is able to do, you can only remember 3 things, and those 3 things you can't remember, or can't see nothing else that is more than 3, basically. Yeah, that stuff. She has some rather odd clothing. I don't know, but apparently she's a prison guard, and she also why does so many people, I gotta ask this though, why do so many people attempt to try to kill Jolene by way of shooting her? Like, what does that do? Like, I don't know, like, what does that mean that you're gonna do? I don't understand that. So yeah, and she got a well-deserved beating in the very end, crap later, because basically she told on herself, basically, towards Jolene. She basically told on herself. She was like, Jolene was like, are you an enemy? And she was like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Go ahead and shoot her. She basically told on herself, saying, oh yeah, I am. Like, when she said shoot her, you basically told on yourself. So, she's going at a C tier. So the next character that we have here is Perla Pucci, who is the sister to Enrico Pucci. Now, it's really sad the way she went out there. I remember when I saw the backstory, I'm just thinking like, man, why? Like, what was the whole point? What was this gonna achieve? Like, first off, she fell in love with Weather Report. This is before that they knew, this is before that Pucci knew that, Weather Report was his younger brother. But, then she got freaking, they, the dudes in the town, what was it, a hitman, I think? I have a feeling it might have been a hitman. They went into the town, they basically beat the crap out of Weather Report, and then just freaking pull all their hands all over Perla and all this crap. I'm just thinking like, man, like, bro, are you kidding me? And then, when Weather Report supposedly died because he got lynched, but when he supposedly died, she jumped off the cliff and, because she basically killed herself because, like, man, like, her backstory is really freaking sad, dude. You know what I'm saying, bro? So, for that, we're gonna have to put her at that B tier. So the next character that we have here is Rikio, who is the second son of Dio that we have on this list. Now, Rikio, what can he do again? He has the stand, I think he masters a stand called rods, where these things come down. I forgot what they can do. They come down and they do some stuff like that. And apparently he is actually a pretty cowardly guy because apparently, apparently, what is it? Apparently when he doesn't have that stand disc in his head, he is really cowardly as well. He seems to be really cowardly. Like he's so like scared and stuff like that. And hell, even with the stand disc, he is still kind of a scared dude. I think whenever Stone Freak beat the crap out of him enough times, he eventually is like, oh my god, like why am I so scared now? Basically stuff like that. But however, though, he did admire, like, before he died, he did admire, Jolene's strength and stuff like that. So, yeah, I will say that. So, we'll put him at a C tier. So, the next character that we have here is I'm going to say Romeo. Romeo Giso, I think that's how you say his last name. So, this is the ex-boyfriend of Jolene. And this was the guy who was basically, oh, yeah, I at least don't have to get freaking charged for this. But he was the guy, who basically hit the person that, I think he hit a pedestrian or might have just gotten into a car crash with somebody else. And then, that stuff like that. And, Jolene got freaking, she got framed for it, basically. And then, you know, when she came back, you know, to his house after she had broken out of prison to go find Poochie, he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, girl. You know, I didn't mean none of this stuff. And, you know, stuff like that. And it's funny because at first I really thought this dude was about to betray her and be like, hey, bro, yeah, I got Jolene right here. But when I heard him say that she's going to Mexico, I'm just like, okay, yeah. He's cool. He's all right. But I do like how they still, I guess it's like, I guess kind of like a middle finger to him still. They, like, Hermes took the sticker off this tongue because he duplicated his tongue. Freaking crap like that. So, I don't know. Romeo, he's going at a C tier. So, the next character that we have here, this is Sports Max. I was about to say somebody else, but the next character we have here is Sports Max, who is the guy who murdered Hermes' older sister, Gloria. So, Sports Max, he can basically turn himself invisible, basically. He can make himself invisible even to stand users, which is kind of crazy. And Hermes finished this dude off. I don't remember what his stand was. What was his stand? I don't remember what his stand was, but, you know, when in doubt, we're going to put him at that C tier. So the next character that we have here is Thunder McQueen, who is the guy, one of the first few enemies that Hermes first encounters, if not the first person that she encounters. So first off, this dude is apparently, we can clearly see that this dude is mentally unstable, has no idea who this guy is, who he is. He has no idea who he is, and he is very suicidal. So that's pretty crazy. And he also has random outbursts of crying and screaming, you know, and crap like that. You know, and I think he tried to he successfully electrocuted Hermes. He was like, oh yeah, you going out with me because we about to fall in love together and stuff like that. So I don't know, dude. I highly doubt that his name is a reference to Lightning McQueen, you know, the Cars character. I don't know why I said that, but you know what? Put him at a C tier. So the next character that we have here is the last son of, or the last of Dio's, the sons of Dio, which is indeed Ungalo, or Ungolo, whichever way you want to say. I say Ungalo. So Ungalo is the guy, you know, the first son of Dio that we actually meet, and he masters the stand Bohemian Rhapsody. Which is basically what that stand does, or what he's basically able to do. He's able to basically bring any fictional characters into life, like into real life. And I was thinking, like, imagine how scary that would be. I know it might sound cool to a lot of people, like, oh yeah, you know, if that happened in real life, JoJo characters would come out in real life, or some crap like that. But imagine how scary it would be. Because, you know, you don't know what they can do. Like, hell, they might be a completely different person outside the book in our world. So I'm just like, man, imagine how scary that would be. Like, I wouldn't want that happen. I wouldn't want that to happen in real life. Like, that's scary. So, and in my opinion, I really think Ungalo should have gotten more screen time. This dude died way too fast. Way too fast, as a matter of fact. This dude died only because, I think... What did he do? He drew, Weather Report drew like some sort of character, or made the Van Gogh painting draw somebody on the ground, and made all the, and you know, so that way he could suck all the characters back up and stuff like that. And I think that's how he died. So Ungalo, this dude really should have deserved more screen time. This dude makes some really weird faces. We're going to put him at a C tier, though. So the next character that we have here is Viviano Westwood, who is the guard who eventually gains a stand by way of, I think it was probably due to Whitesnake. Basically, what he's able to do, he has incredible, and I mean incredible, physical strength. I think he's probably I'm pretty sure if he ever fought Jotaro, I'm pretty sure he'd be even stronger than Star Platinum. He's basically what his ability was, what he's able to do with his abilities. He's basically able to make just random meteorites fall from, you know, fall from space up into Earth and hit people. And I also have to say this, during his fight with Jolene, that is most likely the most intense fight I've ever seen in Part 6. And that's also by far, if not to me, one of her most difficult fights in the show. So yeah, this dude was freaking crazy. But he was pretty chill guy when he first, you know, before he got to this. When he got that this dude turned into a completely different person. He turned into a fucking animal. So we're gonna put him at a C tier. Yeah, then we have that there. And the last character that we have here is Weather Report. And this guy is pretty cool freaking character. We found out in his backstory, you know, stuff like that, you know. But when we first meet Weather Report, we don't know, you know, he doesn't even know who he is because he lost his memories. So I take it he ends up gaining different memories, but when he gets his memories back by way of Donatello Versus, by, you know, the way he threw a disc, it's all game over from there. And you know, Weather Report goes crazy again. He goes crazy for like what, a couple of minutes, and then he goes back to his normal self after Anasui talks him down, basically. So yeah, I really like Weather Report, dude. I like his design. I really like his character. And he even tried to settle the score with, you know, his older brother Poochie, you know, because technically that's what they are. They're technically, that's technically, because he's technically Poochie. Poochie's his biological younger brother, basically. So you already know Poochie going at that A tier right here. So that does it for my part 6 tier list here. I'm about to say part 5. But this does it for my part 6 tier list. I have no idea if I'm ever gonna do a JoJo tier list ever again. I was not expecting to do this one, but I'm just like, man, what's the point? I've finished watching. I've been finished watching I've finally watched and finished part 6. So I figured I should go ahead and do this. Funny enough, there's no characters in the E tier or F tier or hell, even a Shadow Realm tier, basically down here. So the next time I make a JoJo, a JoJo tier list, it will be on part 7 because that's the part I'm moving on to next. I don't know how long it's gonna take me through, mostly just due to the fact that it's, you know, it's only in manga and not, you know, animated. So I'm going through the pain of reading that crap, you know, like that. So that does it for this video, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.